Every storm that hits you is secretly watering you. My general days, Mamre here. Today is September 29, 2025. Welcome on Jamba. Welcome to the Audi series, episode 5. The title is The Rain, the Sun, and the Storm. Before I start, I want to take a step back to the mindset of the farmer. I mean, the good farmers. So the good farmers will be ready for the Audi season. In other words, the farming season. They will pick their seeds, the good ones. They will find the best soil that's fertile, and they will plant those seeds into the soil. And once they did, they sit down and wait for the rain. And that's the thing they have no control over. So the other things I mentioned, those were the circle of influence of the farmer. But the rain, the sun, and the storm, they have no control over. So the farmer wait for the rain until one day the rain dropped. And after the rain, the sun came. Then a few days later, you start seeing those seeds start, sowing up. All of a sudden, those millets, those granules, those corn start, looking like a small babies, jumping all over the place. And the rain came again, and again the sun came. But until one day, the rain came and it never stopped. It rained for literally 24 hours. It was windy. Trees were falling down. Houses were flying all over the place. Some of the farms were flooded. And that's the storm. Yes, that is storm. The storm is part of the raining season. In other words, it's part of the Audi season. So all of the farmers know that these three, goes in hand. You have the rain, then the sun came, and sometimes you have a storm, and the farmers knows that. I remember when I was a kid at the village, one time we had a very severe storm that hit the village. Almost most of the village's farms were destroyed. Most of the crops were washed away, the farms flooded, trees falling down, and even some animals, flooded with the floods. Man, it was devastating. If you look at those farmers' face, it was painful to watch. But one thing I knew when I saw those faces were the faces of faith and the faces of a true character of a farmer. They knew what happened. They knew what happened. They had no control over it. It was only God who brought that storm. And they accepted that storm is part of the season. And what they did after the storm amazed me. They rebuilt what they could. They fixed what they could. And most importantly, they pivot. Yes, they pivot. They didn't sit there, say their season is over, crying, being victim. No. They look again what is in their circle of influence. Some of them pivot to watermelon farming, others pivot to farming, rice farming. Others were even getting ready for gardening. Those were the things within the circle of their influence. And that's the mindset of the farmer. So when we look at this, when we look at this wisdom from the farmer, what can we learn from that? through our daily, day-to-day life. Our life is a mix of both three. We have our rains, those are our blessings, things that work out, things that make our life excitement, things that we pray and we get. And we have the sun. These are our routines, the things we do on the daily activities. Those are the things we get from the rain. Now the sun came to stabilize that, to make that part of our life. Then we have the storm. The storm are the crisis, the life crisis we face is pretty much every day. Everyone you see is secretly going through a storm. In other words, is secretly going through a crisis. And those storms, those crises, are part of our life. Some of them are within our circle of influence, most of them are not. So the question, my Jama, is what can we do when a life throws us a storm, when crisis hit? We can borrow from the mindset of the farmer. As the farmer fixed what he could, he rebelled what he could, and he pivoted. He doesn't sit there finger pointing, blaming others because of the storm. He takes full responsibility of what happened and he find a way to make things better. That's the same approach we should adapt. As storms or crises hit us from studying so hard and you failed an exam, from health crisis, from mental crisis, from financial crisis, from going through a divorce, from having a family that's dysfunction. All of those are storms that we go through every day. And one thing we need to do, just like the farmer doesn't abandon his farm when the storm hit. No, they don't. Same thing to us. We should not give up on ourselves when a storm hit us. Those storms are part of life. So the only thing you can do is to find a way to fix it. If you're gonna fix it, you need to pivot. And know more storms are coming because the storm will never end. The only thing you can do is to keep playing, to stay in the game. And the only way to stay in the game is to confront your storm, your crisis, and find a way to live beyond them. Because at the end of the day, the basic formula of life, there is nobody who will be crowded the winner of life. Can you imagine all of the people who pass away? Nobody was saying to be the winner of life. So there's no winner of life. So the only winners are the people who stay in the game and keep playing. So my jamba out there, the takeaway here, storms are part of our life, just like the mindset of the farmer. Don't run away from them, confront them, and find a way to live beyond them. And remember, storms will never end. They are part of the rainy season, and those crises are part of life. If you learned anything from this, please subscribe and also share from friends. The goal is the same, to inspire you to be the better person you were yesterday. Thank you.